Last time on the Alpha Male Universe.
And now what's left is some comments of loser men, low life, degenerate men who are saying she was 15. Go f your mother. And then come back and tell me she was 15.
Welcome back to the Alpha Male Universe. Now, Bubba Army, be sure to report for duty and smash that like button because we're in the fight against Princess Azoulay. I'm just going to give a quick TLDR, a quick summary of the last two videos because you may have not watched those. Long story short, Azoulay went to a high school, Calabasas High School. They did not vet his criminal history. They did not realize how ridiculous of a situation it was for him to be giving a speech to a bunch of high schoolers. And a lot of parents are upset, rightfully so. Now, he has actually made a situation a whole lot worse. I have a lot of information, more parents feedback about this whole thing, a official response from the school, and a little bit more about the history of who Azoulay is and why this is even more atrocious than you could ever think. So let's get in a flow state together and get this show on the road.
We're gonna need more security.
What made you come and do this?
Well, I started social media just for this, just to inspire them. You know, at the end of the day, they see me and they value who I am and what it is that I do. And what I do all day, I work out, I make money, I have a wife, I have a family, and I'm a very productive human being. And in my opinion, any man that watches me at the end of the day is going to strive to become like me.
I hope there's not a single soul out there that strives to be like Azoulay, stolen valor, be a monster, and commit heinous acts against people. Yeah, striving for excellence there, right, chump? Okay, so we need to talk about this, right? This footage comes from a page called Amuna LA, and I'm going to argue that they are just as complicit in all of this. They probably know Azoulay personally because he is the first influencer that is highlighted there. They want to bring Jewish influencers to the youth of LA. Bringing Azoulay to the youth of LA, like, does that even sound right? Does that even sound normal to any rational human being considering what we know about him? This page is also monstrous, okay, considering who they are trying to put on a pedestal. Whoever runs this page is a fucking coward because they shut down the comments, silenced everyone. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments calling out this page for their bullshit behavior. So you know what? They're just as complicit, and fuck Amuna LA. However you like pronounce it, I don't know, right? Who cares, right? So let's move on. Let's actually talk about a parent who was deeply upset with the Calabasas High School. We'll probably circle back to this footage and we're just gonna, you know what, we're gonna freestyle the whole thing. All right, so we have a post from a outrage parent. They posted on the Calabasas High School saying, this week from January 19th to the 23rd, 2026, Calabasas High School faced a grave security breach that has left parents outraged and deeply concerned for the safety of their children. A convicted Diddy known as King Azoulay was permitted to enter school grounds without undergoing any security or background checks. With a criminal history that includes the assault of a 15-year-old girl, his presence on campus poses an intolerable risk. So Azoulay gets wind of all of these parents being really upset, and guess what he decides to do? Yeah, he decided to post something like this. She was 15 across his chest, like on a shirt, implying maybe he's selling some merch, making fun of the situation, right? What the hell is going on, like, here on social media? That real people, real authentic people who have done nothing wrong are banned, but a legitimate Diddy is allowed to just post and make fun of his victim. I have never heard of such a thing. The fact that more people don't know about this is actually a fucking shame. Like, more awareness needs to be raised. Like, if you're watching this video and you haven't liked or you haven't commented or done something to make this video pop up more in the algorithm, then please do something, because we have an actual person making fun of his victim, laughing about it. As you can see right there, it's hilarious laughing emoji. What is going on? Seriously.
The man that watches me at the end of the day is going to strive to become like me.
Would you want to do more events and connect to the youth more, face to face, not just online? Do you feel a difference?
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
What would you say to other influencers like yourself to get them to come to the youth face to face and not just behind the camera?
I would say one thing. If you're coming out on social media and you're inspiring people, it would be a huge thing for you to do it face to face, because there are certain people in life that touch your body, but there's certain people in life that touch your soul. But if you could do that face to face, it's a whole different ball game. They feel it, they want it, they need it. You can clearly see that young men are in need of support, of inspiration, of guidance, motivation. They need that. So when you're coming out here and speaking to these young men, or young women too, they're so inspired, you're changing up their life. One little thing that I said in there could change someone's life forever. And you could do the same.
This has to be a huge public safety concern that a man who has a convicted S crime and also a potential DV, yeah, we're going to talk about that. He doesn't like talking about it, who wants to meet up with the youth. He wants to connect physically, whatever that means, with the youth. This shit is wild. I actually had some people in my comment section tell me, oh, Bubba, you're making a big deal of it. Those kids had a great time and no one was in any potential danger. Are you fucking dumb to say that? Like, how dumb are you? I swear, there are even Azoulay glazers. The fact that there's even a singular person out there who glazes Azoulay just blows my mind. You would think that common sense is common, but it's not. There's a bunch of fucking idiots and morons on this platform. But let's continue and talk about this whole potential DV thing I'm talking about.
Your grandparents die, then your parents die, then you die, then your kids will die, and your kids' kids will die, and so on. Now, I guarantee you're upset with me, but that right there, my friend, is a true blessing. Most people won't understand, but I'm blessing you to never in your life have to bury a child, because there's nothing more painful than burying a child. I personally lost my child. My son is 8 years old today. I've not seen him for 5 years. I had to mourn my child until one day he might come back to my life. So I'm blessing you to never in your life lose a child in any way, especially not burying him. God bless you all. And again, before you get upset with somebody, make sure you listen until the end of the fucking story.
So chinless bitch Azoulay wants to gain some type of sympathy from the audience, claiming that he lost access to his 8-year-old son. Oh, I wonder why that may have happened. Well, when you look up Azoulay's name in DV, this court case comes up, and truthfully, I will say that the timeline doesn't make sense. It says 2007, but it's possible that Azoulay is just lying about the timeline. Now, when we look at this case, it says DV prevention with a minor being his son. So I don't have concrete evidence that he committed DV against his ex-wife or his son, but it's pretty concerning that the judge ruled against him and gave all of the custody to his ex-wife. I would reason that if there wasn't any evidence of some ridiculous things going on in that house of Azoulay's, then the judge would have never gave custody completely away. You got to consider that is a massive, massive ruling by a judge to completely get rid of your ability to see your child. I think that there is definitely something there, and someone who has the legal resource access can probably give further clarification on this. I can't find any more information. I suspect that it may have been sealed, but who knows? I'm sure we'll find out more. So let's return back to an outraged parent who gives us an update about what's going on at the Calabasas High School. So someone from the Bubba Army managed to get a correspondence with a parent from the Calabasas High School. You actually may remember the name, Tina, and she had this to say. Good morning. Yes, somebody got fired. Unclear on whether it was high school staff or somebody higher up. It looks like one of the lunchtime clubs organized this and did not get any approval. They did not run it up the chain the way they were supposed to. So when it was time to bring this guy on campus, whoever actually let him in the door is the one who messed up. I don't think parents are angry enough. I don't think they're receiving enough phone calls or emails, to be honest. Well, I'm pretty sure more people are going to try to reach out to the Calabasas High School after this video goes live, but who knows? And then Tina had this to say more. I'll look into that. I have to say that there is more to the story. I don't know. It's not really my story to tell. But if anyone was really interested, they could look into who is funding that group at school and who accompanied that guy onto campus. He didn't come alone. Then she finishes by saying, I saw the Bubba video. Somebody sent it to me and I was so happy to see that there's somebody exposing him, and the comment section was amazing. It does feel good to know that people who have nothing to do with the AMU can see the type of work that we're doing. We're just trying to do the right thing. And you know what? I actually want to talk about that guy who accompanied Azoulay. I swear this is like some TMZ shit because I have no idea why there were multiple angles of Azoulay's speech at the Calabasas High School, but here we are. And at first glance, it doesn't really seem like anything unless you pay attention to the guy in the background, specifically the one holding the orange iPhone. Now that guy is going to be Devin. We have long speculated that Devin is the individual who is truly the real puppet master for the Azoulay grift. As you can tell, he's an out of shape lame. He doesn't look impressive at all. So he probably is trying to use Azoulay. Not saying Azoulay looks impressive or anything. I mean, how can you be impressive and you have no chin, right? But he's like, oh, this is probably my best shot to try to create some type of grift and use someone else without me being the fall guy. And that's what I'm suspecting is going on. Tina kind of alludes who accompanied him, and I find it pretty interesting that, oh, lo and behold, someone who we have showed sufficient evidence that he is the puppet master is holding that phone like the bitch he is recording Azoulay. So I don't really know what the significance of that is, other than there were multiple people who helped orchestrate this event. Now we have an official response from the principal. His name is Bennett Wookie. Wookie? That's a crazy last name. I never knew Chewbacca was a principal of a high school, but you know what? That doesn't matter. So good afternoon. Thank you for your email and for bringing your concern to my attention. We are reviewing our safety protocols and procedures to ensure the safety and well-being of students and staff. In addition, we will be reviewing guest speaker protocols with all of our clubs and staff to ensure speakers on campus adhere to designated approval protocol. Thank you. Now, this is where maybe you can use your own judgment, right? But considering someone was fired and now the school is reviewing their policy and trying to prevent this in the future, I would say this is a reasonable response to the situation. Other than the things that we have gathered, maybe a public statement, but I think they're probably trying to do some damage control. I personally think that they should have made a public statement owning their mistake, but we all know how these organizations work. They try to just cover it up, but at least they're doing something. I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I think about it, I feel like they should definitely make a public statement, and it kind of sounds like they're sweeping things under the rug, but I'll let you decide that. I feel like I kind of talked myself into the position already. So rounding out the video and adding further on the mountain of controversy of Calabasas High School allowing someone who has potential DV in their criminal history, a S-crime conviction, and a storied history of stolen valor, a community member from the Bubba Army graciously paid Don Shipley to investigate the claims that Ben Azoulay has made. She had this to write to Don Shipley. Hello, I'm seeking verification on Ben Mordecai Azoulay, also known as Benjamin Azoulay, who was born in 1990 and currently resides in California. He is in his mid-30s. Azoulay has reportedly used his military claims to deceive individuals for business ventures and to harass or intimidate others. One day he claimed he was a Navy SEAL, another day he was a Marine, and the next a special ops with the Clear unit because it's secretive. If you need any additional information, please let me know. I've already paid the verification fee. Thank you. And Don Shipley, actually I should correct myself, his wife, but they worked together, had this to reply. Madam, I greatly appreciate your interest in upholding the honor of the United States SEAL teams and your search for the truth. My efforts to expose SEAL imposters are performed as a service to the public and in honor of my fallen SEAL teammates, men who truly earned the right to the title United States Navy SEAL, but who are no longer able to stand forward in defense of their honor, their reputations, and their teams. If the name you provided is spelled correctly, I do not find a listing in the SEAL database. SEAL teams, underwater demolition teams, and predecessor units from 1943 to the present day. For anyone named Ben Mordecai Azoulay, I have also examined possible alternate spellings and names with similar pronunciations without finding any that appear to be applicable. Since his claimed participation in SEAL training and based upon the information you have provided, I can state conclusively that Ben Mordecai Azoulay never completed SEAL training, and he is not, nor was he ever, a Navy SEAL or a Navy underwater demolition team member. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to that gracious community member for paying the investigation fee. Like seriously, it means the world to me that people in this community are standing up for what is right. As Don Shipley says, he does that as a service towards his fallen team members who can't defend their honor and the reputation of the institutions they fought for. That's why when, Azoulay does this stolen valor bullshit, it just pisses me the fuck off because he's seriously disgracing the institution and all of the fallen for claiming something he has never done. That's why I can't stand this guy from top to bottom. It seriously pisses me off, and I'm just happy that there are people who are standing shoulder to shoulder with each other in the fight against these alfalfa lame bitches. So you know what? I'm gonna end the video right here. If you haven't yet, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're a new or returning viewer, then consider subscribing to the Bubba Army and maybe swing on by the Bubba Discord where there is 24/7 AMU nonsense. Until the next video, guys, later.